Hey guys, how's everyone doing? And let me remove the cover video. And there we go. So, if you guys remember last streaming, we started working on this Japanese creature. I was using as a base 3D scan. Give me a second. I think I have a reference of it around here. No, I don't think I have one. Well, it's a Japanese creature called. Check. Creature is called um, Sakihoko. So it's this mixture between a Japanese fish and a dragon. So it symbolizes, well, the mythology behind it. It's that they protect buildings against fires. So that's the reason you can find some of these sculptures on rooftops or corners of buildings in Japan. So that's the idea. I'm gonna be working on this creature tonight. I'll be finishing. We already have something quite decent with some zero measure, and I think I have around here the original mesh. Yep, here it is. Let me use this as a reference. So give me a second. Hey, Saha, good morning. I'm gonna place this one right in the corner so we can use as a reference. It's better like this. There we go. That's the original 3D scan that I did. And this is the, yep, same 3D scan. So I won't be needing this. I'm gonna get rid of this one. And you can see the difference between that one and the new one I'm working on. The idea is to make it a bit more of a creature, or a believable creature. So let me find a different material for this guy. Just like this. So that's the idea behind the streaming tonight. Give me a second while I set everything up. Hey Webster, how are you doing? And check for my webcam. Let's see. Just to give me a second, guys. I'm setting these. So, for this creature, I think I'm currently it doesn't have a very neutral pose. I think I would like to make it a bit more neutral with the pose. And for that, I think I'm gonna be creating a new layer. But before that, I think I need to fix the fins right here. They're looking really weird. Actually, I think it's broken, the geo. Yep. We have a hole right here, so for continue sculpting, I need to finish. Um, I need to close that hole. So I'm gonna duplicate this mesh and down here, I'm gonna remove all the layers that I currently have. Take all. And I need to close holes. Oh, I'm gonna get rid of the subdivision levels. Maybe I can use free subdivision levels. Let me see if that's gonna work. Okay, so I'm gonna unfreeze them. See if it actually works. And I think it works. Yep. Looks like it's working. Yep, no difference between the two meshes. I'm gonna create a couple of layers. And before I continue, let me share this streaming. Give me a second. Okay. Let me just check the music. It's kind of weird. Um, Ahí está. So I'm changing the music. It's very weird. ¿Qué onda, Daniel? ¿Cómo estás? Justo lo que estaba mencionando hace rato es que la idea del streaming es continuar con esta criatura que empezamos con la fotogrametría que le hicimos a esta escultura. Entonces, ahorita le quitamos, le arreglamos esos hoyos que tenía. Entonces podemos empezar a esculpir un poco más detalles. Lo primero que es trabajar un poco en la boca. Y lo que no sé es si hacerle más dientes o dejarlo así. Las cosas que voy a ir improvisando un poco. Y quizás antes de trabajar estos layers voy a agregarle más subdivisiones. It's a good idea to rename all your layers. It's a nice habit to rename everything, so you don't have like a ton of different unnamed layers. Vamos a ver. Voy a dejarlo material gris de momento para enfocarme más en esto y es simplemente empezar a agregar detalles. Al final la forma ya la tenemos. So we currently already have the shape, so we're gonna have to start adding details. That's the main task for today. It's gonna be pretty much just using the geo that I already have. And especially right here on the fins, they're kinda looking weird, so I have to fix that. Creo que voy a crear un layer antes de continuar, en el que voy a hacerlo un poco más aplastado. So I'm gonna create a new layer just for the neutral position. I'm gonna see. Y la boca está muy aplastado. The idea is to see your model from different angles, so you're pretty aware of if it's looking weird from underneath the model or from the top view. So the idea to have like different views of your creature or character, at least front, side, top, and bottom. Now I have some weird topology right here, but since I'm using ZBrush, so I'm gonna keep it. Hey Fabio, ¿qué onda? Qué gusto verte por acá. Y algo así. Hey, Psycho Crazy Animations. How are you doing? I think I have my camera off, so let me see. There we go. Um, Let me check. Sorry guys, trying to get this to work. Having some issues with the camera. And there we go. Sorry, a bit of a slow beginning. ¿Podrías explicar el uso de las capas en ZBrush? No entiendo su utilidad. Sí, claro. O sea, los layers o las capas son súper útiles porque para empezar te permite trabajar de forma más ordenada. Entonces digamos que si yo empiezo a hacer detalles ahorita así, voy a crear un nuevo layer que sea otro de este, parte de este, de un segundo. Vamos a crear estos dos. Los voy a unir en uno mismo. Como en Photoshop se pueden unir los layers. Y digamos que voy a crear un nuevo de prueba. Digamos que en este layer me pongo a hacerle detalles y empiezo a hacer como muchos detalles por todas partes y trabajo en las escamas. Y digamos que en algún punto digo, está muy exagerado esto, no me gusta. Tú puedes trabajar en tu layer y bajarle la intensidad, hacerlo más sutil, o incluso puedes borrarlo. Puedo guardar un morph target, por ejemplo, de esto y decir, bueno, ¿sabes qué? Si me gusta como estaba antes, pero usando la brocha de morph y con mi layer puedo empezar a regresarlo en el estado en el que estaba, pero solo algunas secciones. Tal vez yo quiero que sí conserve esa forma, pero no en todas partes. Entonces puedo usar un poco la brocha de morph para borrar ese layer. Y la otra función que tiene los layers, si se dan cuenta, borro ese layer y se borra por completo lo que tenía hecho ahí. La otra cosa padre es que puedes hacer blend shapes. Digamos que creo un layer y este va a ser del pez triste. Entonces vamos a moverlo para abajo. Obviamente está hecho con las patas, pero se entiende un poco cuál es la idea. Y entonces tengo, digamos que mi personaje con varias capas. Entre ellas, el layer de... Ups, ahí va. Bueno, si estuviera bien hecho, sería un layer como que se pone triste. Mm, Vamos a intentar hacerlo mejor con algo un poco más simple. So I'm currently just explaining the way layers work. Es un poco similar al Postmorph de Cinema 4D. No he usado Cinema 4D, pero supongo que debe ser como un Morph Target o como un algo similar. Yo supongo que sí. Digamos que tenemos aquí la cara y aquí su boca y ya con eso. So we're currently gonna do a couple of blend shapes just to show the power of blend of layers. So this is gonna be our base layer, just to have like a layer without any modifications and that we can go back and work on it. And for example, this one is gonna be smile. Entonces este va a ser el layer de la sonrisa. Y ya podemos modificar la sonrisa, incluso podemos esculpir como sonríe, pues se eleva un poquito aquí, ¿sí, no? Y entonces lo que tenemos es layers que se comportan de una forma un poquito como los blend shapes. De hecho, tú en Maya puedes exportar, bueno, bien, puedes exportar estos layers a Maya. Incluso puedes exportarlos como FBX y meterlos a Maya como blend shapes tal cual. Tenemos este layer, por ejemplo. Y digamos que tenemos un layer de triste. So this is gonna be the sad layer. And this is supposed to be sad. And the cool thing about this is we can actually mix layers. So this is gonna be one with the closed mouth. Entonces lo que vamos a hacer es incluso mezclarlos, que es la parte padre de estos layers. Y podemos hacer combinaciones. Entonces digamos que voy a tener un layer para que se cierre la boca. Que al final pues tomemos en cuenta que está un poquito improvisado esto, pero digamos layer de boca cerrada. Entonces yo sí mezclo mi layer de boca cerrada con el layer de sonreír. Sonríe con la boca cerrada. Si lo apago, pues abre la boca. So this is the way layers work. It's pretty useful because you can either work on a very non-destructive way your sculpture, and at the same time you also have this um, ability to create blind shapes. So this is pretty much the power of the layers. So I'm gonna go back to my fish. Entonces básicamente lo que puedes hacer con los layers. La verdad es que son súper útiles y te permite trabajar de forma muy ordenada. Entonces yo trato de siempre trabajar ya con layers desde lo que lo aprendí a manejarlos. Te permite hacer muchísimas versiones también, en especial para concept art. Si el cliente te pide muchas variaciones de un personaje o el personaje no está definido y estás modelándolo, pues ya te permite quizás hacer un layer en el que los cuernos cambian el tamaño o en el que el personaje tiene piel de escamas y en otro tiene piel como más suave. Al final son muchas las opciones que puedes tener con los layers. And let me fix the face currently. Believe the face needs a bit more work. Y básicamente se va a definir un poquito más esto. There we go. And it's pretty much just playing with volumes. tratando de hacerle una oreja un poco más humanoide, pero sin perder por completo lo de criatura en su oreja. At the end, this is like a mixture between like a dragon and a fish, so can take some liberties, especially with stuff like the ears. Again, using dam standard to define these wrinkles. And I'm gonna work on the mouth. Also thinking of maybe adding some more set of teeth. Hey, Mahadi, how are you doing? Ah, no, de que Fabio. Hey, nice to meet you, Mahdi. So I'm gonna add a bit more volume right here. This is supposed to be like a more rough part of the creature. I'm thinking more of like a, not a shell, but almost shell-like texture. This looks like an eyebrow. I don't really like that effect because I wanted to make it look more of a creature instead of a humanoid. Y lo que voy a hacer es poner más dientes, pero chiquitos, quizás como los de abajo. It's gonna be like a small set of teeth. Maybe like this. And I'm gonna apply the same for this section. Now I usually have the gums as a different subtool, but for this one I try to keep it in a single mesh. It's more of an experiment right now. Trying to make the lips a bit more rounded. Vamos a definir esta parte de los labios. Voy a hacer las bases de los dientes en las encías. So like this. So I can actually separate the gums from the lips. Hey, hola Janine, de México, de la Ciudad de México. Aquí andamos. Y con esto voy a hacer la transición entre esta sección que quiero que sea un poquito más rugosa, menos suave, con la otra sección. Let me fix the volume right here. Currently have a very weird looking shape here. Now let's smooth this and use a bit of clay buildup to add a bit more volume to the lips and the chin area. Le des poco a poco agregando volumen o quitando volumen y luego usando brochas como Move o Dam Standard como para definir un poco más el personaje. Por lo que siento que los volúmenes no quedan tan limpios, entonces voy a hacerlo más redondeado. I can mix these two meshes, well, these two shapes. Some weird stuff going on here, so I'm gonna get rid of it. Hey, Wicked Designs! How are you doing? ¿Eres freelancer o trabajas en algún estudio? Ambos. Estoy en estudio y también eh, le hago al freelance. Lo padre de freelance es que puedes agarrar proyectos que igual y en el estudio no haces. O sea, por ejemplo, a veces me salen freelance de impresión 3D o de joyería que son como proyectos diferentes a los que usualmente trabajo. Pero al mismo tiempo son como diferentes, entonces te dan como esta forma fresca de ver como la parte de la escultura digital. Let me get rid of the occlusion. There we go. It's getting very distracting with the occlusion on. Hey, locked XR. Good night from Brazil. Hey, good night from Mexico. What part of Brazil are you from? I know a ton of different, a ton of amazing artists from Brazil. Not sure why there's like a ton of different sculptors and 3D artists from Brazil, like very, very good artists. A ver, algo así. Tratando de marcar todas estas arrugas y no he guardado este archivo, lo cual es un buen momento para guardar. So I haven't saved this, so give me a second. Y voy a trabajar un poco aquí. Casi no he tocado esta sección, entonces sería buena idea darle un poquito de forma a esto. Especial aquí porque hizo como cosas muy extrañas. Voy a tratar de deshacernos de esos artefactos y darle una forma como de aleta, un poquito más orgánica. Trying to make this a bit more of a believable creature, so trying to think out how to tackle this weird looking fin. Hmm. Let me see if I can think of a way of making this a bit more of an organic creature. Like this. And hmm, see how it looks. Creo que le voy a dar unas aletas un poco más poderosas. So I'm gonna change again the design on this section. Así. No termina de encantarme estas aletas. Cambiarle una vez más el diseño. Still not digging that much this design, so try something different with this one. That's very weird. Give me a second. I have to get rid of that one. That weird music on the background. Vamos a tratar de doblar esta sección también. This one looks a bit better. Less exaggerated than... Yeah. Pues ahora nada más de empezar a pulir esto, porque quedó muy raro. Y la idea es lo que decía hace rato, ver el modelo de diferentes ángulos. Entonces aquí se ve bien todos los ángulos. So with this I'm trying to make it look good from different views. Hey Harsh, um, the way I use it, I currently, well, I'm not really using that as a reference. That's actually a 3D scan I took. So it's actually one of my subtools. So you can see that I have it right here. It's actually a 3D model. But let's say you have a 3D model that you want to use as a reference. All you have to do is place the geo, whatever you want on the on the canvas, and press Shift and S. And then if you move again the geo, you'll see that there's a copy snapped on the corner. That's actually just 2D, so you won't be able to rotate that. But that's a way of adding that type of reference on your canvas. And once you're done with it, if you press Ctrl N, you'll get rid of it. So, oh, that's weird. It's like a Christmas song. There we go. So for example, for this one, I'm gonna place it right here, Shift S. Then I'm gonna go back to my new fish, and that's it. Can keep working on it. keep adding organic volumes to it. In this case, I'm using the clay brush. Lo padre de la brocha de clay es que te da estos volúmenes muy orgánicos. Así. Ajá. Y estaba trabajando en las aletas. So again, I'm gonna try to make it a bit more even with the topology. Once I feel the topology is a bit more even, then I can start sculpting. And I have this geo right here. Así. Let me mask this section. I can move this one a bit more. Same applies to this one. I think the music right now from Pretzel Rock, it's not been the best. So let me see if I can find something better. Hmm. I think everything is blocked. See how this one goes. Y la idea es que se vaya viendo un poco más, incluso como manos esto. No me desagrada esa idea, voy a darle un poco más de volumen aquí atrás. The idea is to have this a bit more like a like a hand or like a paw. Let me fix this one. There we go. Try to make this section a bit more clean without all those lumps. Con esto podría hacerlo un poquito más estilizado, pero no del todo. Primero quiero hacerme de esos lumps. Hey, invalid user. Nice name. Can you tell me how much salary one can expect if they know how to use ZBrush properly? Well, that's a tough question because first of all, it depends completely on what are you working. If you're working on games, are you working on film, or are you aiming for maybe are you aiming to maybe work on collectibles or toys, art toys? So each industry has a very different range of prices. Um, Now again, it's not that they hire you as a ZBrush artist. They tend to hire you either like an environment artist or a character or creature artist, a concept artist, and all those different positions have different again different salaries. So it depends completely on what you are aiming for. ZBrush at the end is just a tool, so they don't tend to hire you just because you know ZBrush, but because you know how to apply ZBrush to a very specific pipeline. Uh, at the end, the pipeline of a video game, it's not going to be the same as a pipeline for a game. But as far as prices go, I guess they can go. Let me double check that. I don't know. I'm just eyeballing some price ranges here, but I guess they could go from 40K a year or 70K a year to 160K a year, give or take. So I'm actually taking a very broad range because I'm saying from a junior position to a lead position that the again the prices change a lot, but that could be a rough estimate on prices. So hopefully that helps invalid user. How do I fix holes in the wireframe? That's something that happened to me right here. So it's pretty easy. I'm gonna use the cylinder for this. So let's say I have the cylinder and I'm gonna remove a couple of polygons right here, delete hidden. So if I subdivide my geo, I have this big nasty hole inside of it. So there's a couple of ways to handle this. You can either go to your lowest subdivision level and delete higher in case that you don't need to keep the higher subdivisions. That's one way of doing it. So I can delete higher. And right now, I don't have any subdivision levels. I can go to geometry, modify topology, and there's close holes right around here. Here it is, close holes. So you can see that's closing the holes. Another way of doing it, let's say you have your subdivision levels like this, but you don't want to get rid of them. Maybe you have already sculpted a ton of different details and you getting rid of it, it's not an option. One way of doing it again, it's going to your lowest subdivision level, and instead of deleting your other subdivision levels, you're gonna select this option, freeze subdivision levels. So right now, if you see it right here, I don't have any subdivision levels. It's like I actually deleted them, but I didn't. It's just that I froze those levels. So now I can again go to modify topology inside geometry and select close holes. Now, this is the tricky part because sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work that well. You deselect freeze subdivision levels, and there we go. If you see everything that it's currently masked, is how I used to have that geo before I freeze the subdivision levels, and this is the new geo. So not perfect. It's not subdividing in a very nice way. You can actually fix it, so it's not a big issue, but that's one way of doing it. As I said, there's a ton of different ways. You can also, let me remove this, delete hidden. Well, I'm actually gonna delete my subdivision levels and delete hidden. And another way of fixing this is using the bridge tool. So for example, with CModeler, you can go into your edge options and select um, bridge right here. Select an edge and the other one, and you can start bridging your geo. This is gonna be useful if you don't have that much geo and it's kind of low poly. But if you have a very heavy mesh, this is not an option unless you want to spend like the whole day merging different edges. These are gonna be like fingers. So hopefully that's useful. Liago, Lialgo. The holes are weird. They're so small. Then probably just using the close hole option. That's gonna fix those holes. That music, it's not really that to my liking. There we go. Tried something different. There we go. A ver, lo voy a hacer un poquito más largo. I think I'm going to treat this a bit more like a fin instead of a hand. Maybe too big, so something like this. Now I think this is currently super stretched, so I'm gonna duplicate this. I'm gonna try a different layer for this. I mean, a different zero mesh. See how it goes, because there's a lot of stretching on certain parts. Think didn't work. Um, I think the wireframe is mixed in other parts, or some of them are upside down. That I might recommend working on that either on Maya or 3ds Max, Blender, stuff like that, because you can actually flip different polygons. Like for example, if I were to flip certain sections like this, I can go to display, display port, display properties, flip, sorry. And this is actually it's not as removing the geo. It's actually the normals are flipped. So you can see right here. You can see the interior of it. So it's flipping the normals on these sections. You can select that again these ones and then flip again, and then you can see that it's not deleted. I just flip the normals, but it's a lot of work inside ZBrush, and in Maya it's way easier. So my recommendation would be, if it's important topology that you want to keep, try fixing it on Maya or Blender or Cinema 4D, whatever you prefer. If it's not really that important, the topology, then do a zero measure or do a retopology and you'll get rid of those holes. Uh, it's a simple question. Hey, set skipper, but what's the key binding for switching between subdivisions? It's shift. Oh, let me check with this one that has subdivision levels. So it's shift D and D. So pretty much you can see that I'm going up and down on the subdivision levels. Shift D goes down and D goes up. Yeah, you're welcome, Liaco. Oh, let me see this. I think this might be better. Trying to see how this is working with the new topology. think I think I prefer this one, so I'm gonna subdivide a couple of times. Then I'm gonna start projecting the details into this one. So before doing this, a new layer, just in case anything gets broken, stuff like that. PR for projection. And I'm gonna save as a morph target. And before I start projecting, I'm gonna save this file. You're welcome, Set Skipper. ¿Qué onda, Víctor? ¿Cómo estás? Víctor Castellón. Castejón. Lo siento. Eh, Tiene ya tiempo, ya 2010 y 2017 o 2018 creo, si no me equivoco. Fui a un evento de ZBrush en Los Ángeles, el ZBrush Summit, y ahí conocí a la gente de, bueno, de ahora Maxon, antes Pixlogic, y pasó el tiempo, pasaron unos meses, y ellos me buscaron. Se acordaron que yo hacía contenido en español, y justo ellos estaban buscando streamers que hicieran contenido en español porque querían ampliar los idiomas de los streamers en su canal de YouTube y Twitch y lo que sea. Esa es la forma, esa es la historia resumida. Voy a empezar a proyectar. Now, the good thing about using a new clean geo is I actually have the morph brush, so I can get rid of these weird shapes that I don't actually want. Instead of using the brush, the smooth brush, I can just morph away all those artifacts. And I'm gonna apply this also to the tail. I have these stretch lines that I don't want to keep, so I'm gonna morph them away. Section. I want to have a very smooth looking tail right now. Want any of those artifacts. Muchas gracias, Víctor. This piece is for fun. Yep. I started this one on one of my trips to Japan. This is a 3D scan I took from a sculpture I saw. So I used some photogrammetry to create 3D model, and then I just started playing with it. So this is the original mesh, which is this one, and this is my version of it. La idea es básicamente hacer una versión como más creepy, realista de este pescado mitológico japonés. Se llama Saki Hoko, si no me equivoco, o si no me equivoco en la pronunciación más bien. Y la idea es que este pez con cabeza de tigre o a veces cabeza de dragón cuida los edificios donde está situado. Es decir, son como gárgolas japonesas, solo que a diferencia de las gárgolas, la creencia es que cuando había incendios, estos peces usaban como que el agua que tenían en sus bocas o dentro de ellos para apagar los incendios de los edificios. Era como un guardián. It's way easier to sculpt after this um, zero meshed geo. This is one of those, sorry, this is one of those things that I really recommend. If you're not sure about something and you might think on maybe starting over some geo or zero meshing some stuff or starting from scratch some parts of your model, you can always save a previous version and give it a try. It's one of those things about digital art. You don't have the constraints from traditional art where you have either to choose to keep it or to throw it away and start over. You can actually save and give it a try, and if it's not working, you can go back. So don't be afraid of starting over a model or changing the design of it, even though you already invested some time of it on it. Not a bad idea to maybe reconsider seeing it with some different materials or different lighting and seeing if it actually works. And if it's not working, then consider reworking certain parts. Don't be afraid of deleting stuff. ¿Qué, Eduardo Royd? ¿Cómo estás? Apenas veo que estás en stream. Saludos, muchas gracias. Ya llevo un ratito aquí, pero siento que no he avanzado tanto como me gustaría, pero porque he estado limpiando un poco más el modelo de imperfecciones, o agregándole volúmenes. Pensé que estaría un poquito más adelantado, la verdad, ahorita, pero va un poco lento esto. Nice lore. Yeah, it's very interesting. I really like the mythology of some creatures. This one has a very funny looking face, so it's very interesting to know about the background of certain stuff. Así. So I'm just cleaning the shapes, giving more volume to certain parts and making the wrinkles a bit more interesting. Trying to get a nice shape here. Going from very thin to like a bit more chunky. wrinkles, matte fat rolls. I need maybe a bit more volume. Um, fix this section. The intersection of all these wrinkles. This will be a bit more clean. Or at least not clean, but maybe defined. It's the word. Y me acabo de dar cuenta que me quedé en el layer de project. Pero bueno, está bien. Continuaré trabajando en este layer. Parte padre de tener este scan aquí al lado es que puedo literal pasarlo encima y todo y al final la imagen siempre está ahí. Es como tener un PureRef, pero solo de una imagen. Podría poner más modelos, pero la verdad es que no le veo mucho el caso. Voy a cambiar los ojos. Algo así sea un poquito más intimidante. La parte padre de esto es que como ya tenemos todo definido en cuanto a formas y volúmenes y anatomía, básicamente ahorita ha sido solo estar detallando arrugas usando Dam Standard y Smooth. las arrugas son un poco más interesantes porque como están pegadas al ojo, hay que ser más cuidadosos con esto. Trying to be more careful with the eye, especially with the volume that the eyelids have. Are there main section for brushes? What do you mean by main section? I mean, you have like a menu right here. So if you select this top square on the left side, you see like all the main brushes that you can select. You don't see me going through that because I'm using hotkeys. I have hotkeys assigned for my most used brushes, so I don't have to go over that menu and search for whatever brush I'm looking for. So for example, dam standard it's 5. In my case, move is 2. Standard brush is 1. So that way I can just select pretty quickly the brush I want instead of like just searching for it and maybe spending too much time searching for brushes. Un poquito más de volumen aquí. Y voy a marcar otra arruga por aquí. Debería de cuidar esta sección, vamos a ver. Probably using the morph brush to get rid of like these artifacts. You just need to define more this shape. Let me add a couple of teeth right here. Y creo que estos dientes que están aquí no me encantaban tanto, pero voy a hacerlo más como caninos. So I'm no longer following the design on the sculpture for this teeth. Make something a bit more like a tiger and less like a human in that part. I'm not sure if I should add a tongue. Should I keep it without tongue? Say no, but I didn't find any main sections. I mean, the sections are for specific job. I'm not sure what you mean by sections. Do you mean like different brushes separated into different like subfolders or something like that? Hey, José Ramón, saludos hasta allá a Madrid. Empezando bien el día, veo. Ahí andaré por Madrid en enero. Tenía años sin ir por allá. A ver, marcar un poco más las arrugas aquí. Y por ejemplo, tengo aquí muchos artefactos que quiero deshacer de esto. Entonces vamos a ir con nuestro Morph Target. Y voy a hacer lo mismo para esta sección. Me quede un poco más limpio, entonces puedo empezar a agregarle detalles más adelante de como líneas o algo así. It's like it's like a box full of scattered tools. You mean maybe this one, like the soft box? You can find some brushes here, like you press comma on your keyboard, and you can go here on brushes, and you'll find like all the brushes they have separated into different folders, like slash brushes, and for example, I have my custom brushes here, so a ton of different brushes that I use. Some IMMs that you don't see on your usual brush menu. So, for example, these bricks. Vamos a igual definir más esta sección. así. Esta. Ahorita me estoy deshaciendo de todas las escamas que antes tenía. Quiero que tener un poquito más orgánico, más como un cuerpo liso, donde se marcan las arrugas. Y ya más adelante ver qué hago con las escamas. No he guardado esto, entonces vamos a guardarlo. Vamos a hacernos de esto con Morph Target. Um, um, Hey Benjamin, how are you doing? Long time no see. Now I want to get rid of those weird details too, so give me a second. I actually need some polygroups on the arms. Let me find some polygroup. This one. There we go. Auto group. And let me grow the selection so I can. Actually, never mind. I'm gonna separate these into different subtools. I have one for the fins here, and another one's gonna be maybe this section. Doesn't look that bad. Auto group. Huh? Maybe another polygroup. I don't seem to have an perfect polygroup, so I'm gonna leave it one like this. Really good. Fell off CG really hard for a long time. But the ember's still there. Oh, glad to hear that. Uh, Thank you, man. Really appreciate it. Yeah, sometimes we get like this burnout, but as long as the ember or that passion for CG is still there, that's the only important thing. And especially right now with the layoffs and the strikes, it's It's been some dark times for the industry. Oh, let me see. Maybe we can create another polygroup here. Yep. So we have everything into different polygroups, so you can isolate different parts of it. So it's more clean, especially with these fat rolls. Trying to make them a bit more defined. Let me save this and double check everything from different views. This one. Hey, Milky Sang. Nice name. Thank you. I was really trying to get like these crisp, clean, um, defined shapes, especially with the wrinkles and the muscles. Still a ton of stuff to fix, like these issues here. But I believe we actually made a ton of progress tonight. Compared to where we were, I do see a ton of difference, especially with the shapes and the cleanness of some volumes. some weird stuff right here on the wrinkles. Trying to work. I try not to work on the highest subdivision level unless I'm adding details or alphas. Ponerle un poquito más de volumen aquí. Um, hey, thank you, Milky. You have an awesome topo control. Need much more practice. Enjoying it while gaming. What are you playing? I was playing right now. I didn't play anything tonight. Been playing lately the what's the name of that one? Delta Force Black Hawk, I think it's called. The new Battlefield Killer game. It's okay. Not like something that's changing the gaming like the FPS genre, but it's pretty fun. Especially since I didn't dig that much the last Battlefield. A nice option. I still think that Battlefield 1 and Battlefield 5 are some of the best Battlefields right now. I mean, not at launch, but right now I think they're pretty strong. After all the DLC and patches and new features that they added after the launch. Playing Ultima Online. I'll replay it. I think it's not polished yet. Maybe by release. Yeah, I think so too. I mean, there were a ton of bugs, and hopefully there's a ton of things that they should fix before releasing it. But since it's free and it really feels like a Battlefield game without being Battlefield, I think it's a win-win situation for me. Hopefully it won't be a pay to win with some weapons and stuff like that. Now the cool things, I can actually isolate different polygroups. Lo útil de haber usado polygroups y haber segmentado el modelo en diferentes polygroups es que puedo simplemente seleccionar uno y trabajar en él. Por ejemplo, ahorita me estorbaría muchísimo la aleta para trabajar en estas partes, entonces, de ser posible, trabajen con polygroups. Aquí lo que usar es inflate. Aquí. Nada más voy a trabajar un poquito más esta sección. And define the kills a bit more. Darle un poco más de volumen aquí. Is there a hotkey for Polygroup whole edge instantly? I think you did something similar. I mean, it's some minutes ago. Um, there is no hotkey per se, as far as I know. You can actually create one, but I don't think there's one for default. But you can go to your when to create a polygroup for a whole edge loop. So, for example, I'm gonna use this one, the cylinder. I go to my sim modeler brush. I select, or at least I hover my mouse on an edge. Select, press S. Sorry. I hover my mouse on an edge and then I press spacebar. No, never mind. Not on an edge. I'm saying everything wrong. So I hover the mouse on a face or on a polygon, and then press space and then select polygroup, and I'm gonna select hold polyloop. It's usually like a single poly, so if I select single poly, the thing that's gonna do it's gonna create a polygroup on a single polygon. But if I do the same and instead of a single poly I go to polyloop and select this, I can create a polygroup from an entire edge loop. Now sometimes you might get the wrong edge, but you can always press Ctrl C and fix it. So this is a way of creating different polygroups with edges. ¿Algún curso que recomiendes para empezar con ZBrush? ¿Qué onda, Dani? Em, depende. Si manejas el inglés, yo me iría por la página de ZBrush. Ellos tienen cursos gratuitos de manejo de ZBrush. Es decir, te muestran, como es la página de ZBrush, te muestran todo. Todas las herramientas, todas las brochas. Es algo que se llama C Classroom. La verdad es que yo aprendí ahí. Eh, es súper útil porque todo está como súper dividido en diferentes temas, como de, el tema de las brochas, o el tema de alfas, o el tema de los diferentes menús. Está súper bien ordenado, entonces es fácil de seguir. Y pues la mejor parte es que es gratuito. Esa sería mi sugerencia. Si el inglés igual y no es lo tuyo, eh, la verdad con eso te fallo. No, no sé, o no ubico ningún curso en español que te ayude con eso. Sí, o sea, sé que hay muchas clases o muchos cursos de ZBrush en español para principiantes, pero al final no tengo la experiencia de haber visto ninguno de ellos, entonces no podría recomendar ninguno que se me ocurre en este momento. I'm not sure if I should get rid of these spikes. Now, this is one of those things that I can fix by using a different layer just to get rid of the spikes. Quiero ver cómo se ve sin estas púas, entonces voy a crear un nuevo layer. Algo así. Que al final esto podría ser un subtool diferente. No veo la necesidad de que sean tal cual las púas, entonces lo que voy a hacer es un poquito más delgada esta sección. Quizás sí dejarlo así, pero más sutil para aquí es donde vayan las púas. Now, if I'm not really digging this spineless creature, I can always turn on or turn off the layers, or maybe lower the intensity, see if it works like this. Something like this looks better, at least for now. But I think I'm going for the subtool style of spikes. Hey, welcome, Milky. Hey, Cloudy, thank you. So, a ver si puedo hacerlo un poquito más orgánico. Creo que me gusta un poquito más. Nada más quiero hacer una prueba en la que voy a usar... Sí. am, something like this works a bit better. Oops. Yeah, I think it's better like this. So, I think I'm going to save this. Oh, I'm gonna for saving this and send this for a render. Just want to work a bit more on the fins, so it's not looking that weird. It's gonna be like something similar to this. Like this, a bit more interesting. Um, it's not perfect, but I think for now it works. More of a placeholder with this section than the final one. Okay, so I think I'm going to leave this guy right here. But before that, create a different layer for the gums. So I can make this a bit more exaggerated. Ahí está. So I'm gonna save this and I'm going to send it to Keyshot for a quick render. And we should be done with it, at least for tonight. Let me. Maybe I can add some more spikes. Like this. Oops. Like this. así, que tenga más púas. Yeah, I think I like this version with a lot of spikes. I'm gonna save this and send it to Keyshot now. Render, Keyshot, external render. Keyshot, it's open. It's not loading the fish. Get rid of the layers just in case. And let me change the OBS so you can actually see what I'm seeing on Keyshot. Huh? Set this for a different camera. Change the environment. I have a special material for this type of stuff, so use this one. I think it's a bit too strong. See if I find a different material. Create a different material with this. change this material. Just like that. I think I like this one. So yeah, I think I'm done with this guy. Mm, Thanks to everyone who came by to the streaming. Um, yeah, I think I'm done with this one for my streamings. I might be able to work on it during the week. Just add some cool materials, add some details, especially to the tail. And I think that's pretty much it. I might do a print for this one. I think this one might look cool printed. Uh, So yeah, thank you guys. It's been fun. See you next week on my personal Twitch channel. I'll be doing um, a dragon on that one. It's gonna be a fun one. It's gonna be based on a tattoo I have, so a very interesting streaming. The week after that one, I mean in 2 weeks, it's gonna be another streaming here in the Pixelogic in the Maxon channel, and still not sure what I'm gonna be doing on that one, but it's gonna be a fun one for sure. Yep, stay safe, guys. As always, if you have any questions or if you're gonna get in contact with me, you can find my social media, my Instagram, which is where I'm most active, right here on one of the banners. And yeah, that's pretty much it on my side. Gracias a todos los que estuvieron aquí en el streaming. La próxima semana voy a estar haciendo un streaming en mi canal de Twitch. Voy a estar haciendo un dragón basado en un tatuaje que tengo. Y después no estoy seguro qué es lo que voy a hacer en este canal porque es una semana sí y una semana no. Y yo creo que a este personaje le voy a meter unos cuantos detalles, en especial en la cola. Y básicamente quizás haga una impresión 3D de él. Eh, si tienen alguna duda o si quieren ponerse en contacto conmigo, pues ahí está mi Instagram. Y pues nos vemos. Gracias a todos. Cuídense. Hey, Milky. Likewise. Have a nice day, guys. Have a nice day and thanks for um, sorry, I'm losing my English right now. It's already late. Thanks for coming by. Peace and harmony. Cheers, guys. Nice seeing you guys again.